All right, thank you. Well, good afternoon. Signing day, excited here. Good day today. And, first of all, I want to start off and just thank our staff and all the people that have helped us through this process with the transition to be where we are now and to communicate with these players and families and to help us on a day like today. As far as the recruiting process, just a few things to take into consideration before we start talking about these guys. This is a big moment for everybody, and certainly the university, all right, our football program, and each one of these players and their families. You think about a decision to make a commitment somewhere and to be a part of, whatever program they decide. And these guys that chose Auburn University, they made that simply through building relationships with our coaches, the connection that we have with them, and then, understanding there's a fit for the culture and the type of people that we want to have in our program. This is a big decision. And, on a day like this, all the conversations with family members, the players themselves, coaches, people in their lives, it's been a process. And I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of the guys that are here on campus. I'm proud of the guys that have signed earlier that will be here in the summer, and I'm proud of the guys that we just signed today. We signed 6 today. There's still several spots left, so we're not done. But overall in this class, we have 6 on offense. We have 11 players signed on defense from the different states where we have players from. 4 from Florida, 3 from Texas, 3 from Alabama, 2 from Georgia, 2 from North Carolina, 1 from Michigan, 1 from Mississippi, and 1 from Missouri. And in our process, some things that were important to us. Fit, number 1. All right, talking to these guys and their families and with our coaches, fit was a major factor. When we sat down and decided, all right, what is it that we're looking for in this next group of signees that we're going to bring in? Well, fit. And the culture, that's all part of it. Do these guys love football? High character guys, competitive guys, guys that want to come in here and work hard, guys that are winners. And so during the process here, we had those conversations to answer those questions and to figure those things out, and all these guys fit the bill. Guys that we can develop, guys that can come in here that we know their best football is ahead of them, guys that want to develop, guys that we can coach, guys that are going to come in and do the work necessary to get themselves better each and every day. And that's in the classroom, that's in the weight room, that's in the film room. All right, that's each and every day handling their business. And we wanted guys that wanted to be at Auburn. And so through this process, talking to those guys and just getting that feel for who they are and where they wanted to be. Is this the right place? Is this the right fit? Are these the right people? And no doubt in my mind, we got the right ones. And so we're excited about today. The staff, we've been upstairs. Guys are been passing the phone around, talking to these guys, certainly moving on to, finishing this class as well. And, the energy in here has been very good. Just a few of these guys that we signed today, starting with Caden Bridges, DB, and from Mississippi. So, a guy you watch him on film, hard hitter, plays hard, physical, a guy that's had some very good stats, but you see the potential in his development and getting to know him, a guy that handles his business, very focused and determined. Great family, great support system, and we're excited about him coming in here, all right, and being in that defensive backfield for us. Tavarish Dawson, wide receiver, never wavered, one time even through the coaching change, and high energy, fun to be around, fun to talk to, great energy on the phone, Zooms, things like that, and a great player, great hands, great speed, and a guy that has just been a pleasure to be recruiting during this time, and I think has helped us. A guy that loves Auburn, wants to be here, wants to be a part of this family. Jawan Gaston, just down the road there. Jawan's a competitor and did a great job his senior year, 96 tackles, 5 interceptions, 7 kick returns for touchdowns. So playmaker, football player, and really enjoyed getting to know him, enjoyed getting to know his mom through this process, and a guy that I know is going to come in here and compete and give everything he's got. Iku Leota, D lineman transfer from Northwestern and North Carolina, graduate transfer here, but a guy that is all about the fit, the culture, the things that we talked about here, his development and being a part of this program and wanting to be here. And he's obviously had experience playing against Auburn, so it was good to get to know him and his family. And we're looking forward to him being a guy on the edge for us that can provide that pass rush. But a very good player, developed, will have his degree and has 3 years to come in here and be a part of this program. Offensive line, high school offensive lineman Colby Smith from Rockingham County, North Carolina. This guy's a big human being and great personality, a wonderful family. Wanted to be a guy that Coach Friend and I, as we watched, is a guy that will continue to keep developing. His best football's ahead of him, and a guy that we really enjoyed through this process and was just straightforward, good to get to know. And certainly a guy that's going to come in here and help us, all right, in that offensive line room. And also a guy that we can develop that's young, all right, that will continue to grow through our program. Joko Willis from Troup County there in Independence Community College. So originally from Georgia, but linebacker, outside, inside linebacker, got a lot of range, very speedy player on the field there. So he's got great quickness, short quickness, and can run, and a guy that loves ball and certainly fits what we're looking for that linebacker spot. And been great to get to know him with our coaches. So just the conversations, his energy, enthusiasm, desire to be here. Once this opportunity came up, there was no question this was the right fit for him. So those are the guys that we most recently have signed, guys that are here now, that are mid-year guys: Demetrius Davis, Kamal Haddon, Amari Harvey, guys that are here now, Lee Hunter, Landon King, and Garner Langlow. And these guys are in the program and are doing the work, are getting acclimated to the college lifestyle. It's been good to be around these guys, get to know them, and these guys can play, but they're putting in the work right now. They're developing, and I think they're all excited about where we're going and their opportunity in their development. Guys that will come in the summer here at the end of May: A.D. Diamond, Ian Matthews, all right, Tobici will be here, Hal Presley, and Marquise Robinson. So those guys all part of the signing class and will be here in the summer. And as we finish up with several spots that we still need to fill, we'll put together this entire class and hopefully have all that done by the summer. So we have everybody here and everybody preparing through the summer and getting ready for August and the season. Like I said, we still have several spots to fill. Recruiting never ends, and the opportunities for guys to be a part of this program are still available. And as a coaching staff, we're going to continue with our process of finding the right fit, guys that want to be a part of this culture, fit this culture, and guys that we can develop. So very good day for us, and I'm very proud of our staff for putting in the work to get to where we are right now, and I'm looking forward to getting these guys on campus, the new ones that we signed, and the rest of these guys that aren't here yet, starting working with them and begin their development in our program and towards the things that we want to achieve and the goals we have set for ourselves. So with that, open up for questions.
Thank you, Coach. Our first question is from Mark Murphy.
Yeah, Coach, this is Mark Murphy from inside the Auburn Tigers. Can you talk about the challenge of roster management here in the short term? You got guys coming and going, and then you're hiring a staff, and then you got to figure out who you need for 2021.
Yeah, it's all those things, right? It's all those things every single day. And you're looking at your current roster. We've had guys that were a part of this team that are no longer a part of this team. You got guys from this COVID year that are back and forth and making decisions to come back. You're looking at your future roster. All right, what are your needs? All right, as you evaluate your team, and then the staff that's going to come in here and be a part of your program. So it's all those things, but what I would say is as you put together the staff, every one of those staff members begins to help you as a head coach and begins to start looking at the same things you're looking at. And at the end of the day, it all comes back to people. Let's get the right people here. Let's make sure we have the right people in our program. Let's get the right people here, all right? And let's get everybody working towards that as we moved into this second signing period. And that never ends. That's an ongoing process that we have every single day. But as we get more of the right people in our program, the better it becomes. And the better we get a chance to start emphasizing the culture and things that we want to get done as we get people in this program. So I've been proud of our players. They've been working hard, proud of our coaches as we put together the staff, and then excited about this new group of guys that we signed and this entire class that will be a part of our program when we get everybody here in the summer. And but it comes back to people, and I think the folks here have done a really good job of making sure that we're getting the right people here in this program and a part of this team.
Next is Bill Cameron.
Coach, talking about the makeup of this team coming up with workouts going on, you were talking about COVID and players who won't be here. We know a few of the seniors, upperclassmen who've decided to come back in Chandler Wooten, Trayvon Leonard, T.D. Moultrie. Any of the other seniors or draft-eligible players that have indicated to you that they're coming back?
No, not the ones that you didn't, other than what you mentioned there with the guys. And those are the ones that have chosen with the opting and opting in, opting out that have come back to be a part of this. And that's where we're at right now. So there hasn't been any other changes that way. I don't forecast there will be. The team we have right now and the guys that are here are putting in the work. That's where we're building this foundation with these incoming freshmen that signed, and we're mid-year guys with the team that's coming back. That's just been our focus right now on the guys we have here. Obviously the ones that we signed today and the ones that will come in the summer, and we get everybody here. That'll be our team. Some of the still new faces that we have an opportunity to bring in. Like I said, we're not done. There's still several spots that we need to fill, and we'll do that throughout this spring and make sure that we got the right people in here. But as far as what you just mentioned, guys in and out, that's who we have here right now.
Thanks.
Next is Josh Vitale.
Ryan, Josh Vitale from the Montgomery Advertiser. I wanted to ask about running back depth. I know you're still recruiting, but only 2 scholarship guys in that position. Do you anticipate that being filled out, and will Devin Barrett be a part of that running back mix?
Yeah, so Devin Barrett will be, and he's a guy that is coming back into the program, a guy that in high school played running back here, and so he will be back, and he will be in that role. And we're not done. We're not done at the running back position. We know that's an area where depth is a concern. We have very good players at that position, but we do need depth, and we want to get guys in here that can play and provide value to what we're doing. So we're not done. We're not done at that position. That will still be one that we have an opportunity to bring some new players in. Still a focus, and will continue to be until we make that a reality.
Next is J.G. Tate.
Yeah, Brian. Hey, question about just Darren Usher. I know he's been with you essentially since you got here. Just talk about the job he's done and what he's been doing these last 5 or 6 weeks to kind of keep you guys moving. Yeah,
so Darren's been with me since I was the head coach back in 2014 at Boise State, and Darren's done a great job. Darren puts together our recruiting plan, puts together the process that we use, and a guy that's been around. We've worked together and has been around me for a long time. So got a lot of faith and trust in him, did a great job, all right, coming in here and getting a feel for what it is that we need, where are we going, what's our process going to be, getting with new coaches on the staff and preparing them for, all right, this is how we want to go about recruiting. And we're still working through it. You got a lot of great coaches on this staff that have done very well recruiting in other programs. And as we bring that together, we want the best ideas and the best plan and the best process moving forward. And Darren's been very good at putting that together and keeping us organized. And I think today is an example of that. We found guys that fit us. We found guys that we feel that we can develop. We found guys that want to be a part of this program. And that process will continue. That's not a one-time thing. It will continue to be who we are, guys that are about culture, guys that are about family, guys that are about team, and guys that can play. And, the guys that are going to fit what it is that we're looking for in those positions. So it's not only depth, we're creating competition as well. We want everybody on this team to have an opportunity to play. And whether that's offense, defense, special teams, we want guys that come in here and will be a part of this program and contribute somehow, some way, and guys that handle their business and want to be a part of Auburn University and graduate from here and, have opportunities, hopefully through the game of football, where they can continue that. But it's a whole overall approach when it comes to our recruiting process of just making sure we get a guy that wants to be here and is going to fit into the big picture of things that we're trying to get done and is willing to develop and work every day to get that done. And Darren knows that. Darren understands that. So as we have these conversations with players and families and people that are in their lives, it's very clear this is how we want to do things. Here's some of the things to expect. And I think the guys really appreciate that. Every one of these guys I mentioned that we recruited and brought in this signing period, they understand that. They know they're going to come in here and work hard. They know that they got to compete. They know that when opportunities come up, they've got to seize that. And they know what type of culture and people that we want to have in this program. So that's why I'm fired up on these guys, because they know what they're getting into, and these guys will work extremely hard. I think they're all going to come in here and be very good football players for us, great people, and are going to help our program to be successful.
Next is Thomas Murphy.
Hey, Coach, the importance of the transfer portal has grown year after year in terms of recruiting, but how do you go about balancing recruiting out of the portal versus recruiting out of high school?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure anybody has a for that. It still comes back to, all right, what are you looking for? You look at the needs that you have, and then is that an older player? Is that a freshman? Is that a developmental guy? Are there opportunities for that? I think you just have to go back and look at your roster and say, all right, what fits? And then ultimately it comes back to, all right, what type of people are you recruiting? And whether they're transfers, high school players, junior college players, that's still got to be the deciding factor, in my opinion. And the transfer portal is going to be interesting for everyone. We're seeing it right now, and I think when guys put themselves in that position, there's got to be an opportunity for them. There's also got to be an understanding of why is it that they're leaving another program, and is it the right fit at the end of the day. And so just like any high school player we recruit, any JC player we recruit, it would be no different in that process. And so that relationship connection and all the things to make sure that you have the right fit for your culture, that still has to be established. And I think that's one thing that everybody's learning right now. It's not just plug and play and you take somebody that's played at a high level. You still have to go through that process, recruit, and it's still got to be a good fit for them. And it's not just football. It's academically, it's socially, it's all these things that matter when you choose a university to be a part of, whether you're a transfer or not. So it's still about recruiting. It's still about that same process for us, and then just making sure that we have the right fit and we have the right player and person in our program. And that won't change regardless of where they're coming from. You just have maybe a little bit more of an idea of their level, right, of competition when you get a chance to see them at certain places that might be different for the guys that transfer out of college programs.
Nathan King.
Hey, Brian, Nathan King, Auburn Undercover. Do you anticipate that your staff is finished with the signees for today in particular?
Well, I think so. All right, I think so. And things always change. I would anticipate that we're not done, all right, through this next 48 hours. Let me say that. And so I think, like I said before, recruiting never ends. That will be a process all the way through this semester. It'll continue on, and that's just part of where we are right now. And I think that's always going to be the case. I don't see that changing. And we just had the question about the transfer portal. The way recruiting's going now, it never ends. You have your 2 signing periods, but there's always an opportunity. There might be attrition. There might be things that change in your program, and you're still trying to find the right people to be a part of it. So, no, our staff right now, I mean, we feel good about where we're at. We feel good about the work that's been done, the guys that we've signed, and who's in this program right now. But that will continue, and we need to finish this class. We need to finish and make sure that we do have our numbers filled, and we have our depth and competition at each position, and then we continue on, and if things change, we adjust from there. But it's a combination of finishing now on to the next class and having those conversations, building those relationships with the future of our program, and making sure that we're getting a chance to connect with high school coaches, which right now is challenging. That's probably the most challenging thing at this point, is not being able to have people on campus, not being able to get out and meet these high school coaches and see them face to face, having clinics where we can get the high school coaches on campus, and that's something where that is a disadvantage right now that we've got to be able to make up when we have an opportunity to do that. We're connecting with the high school coaches, but that's something that I'm looking forward to, making sure that we have that opportunity to connect, build those relationships for these coaches, to get to know our staff. And then when we get players and families on campus and they get around our coaching staff, they get around our team, they get around just the vibe that's here at Auburn, I think that's going to help us tremendously as we move forward in our recruiting process.
Philip Marshall.
Hey, Bryan, could you just talk about there's a lot of talk always about the competitiveness of recruiting in the SEC, and you're surrounded by some folks that are constantly up there high. How's it been different for you? And a second question, if I could, just talk about having the value of having guys who have been head coaches before, obviously besides yourself, on your staff.
Sure. Well, the competitiveness of recruiting, I think, number one, wherever you are, I think it's competitive. I think that starts with your own idea of what recruiting is, and really take everything else out of it. All right, what is it you're trying to accomplish with the guys that you want to bring into your program? And for us, as we evaluate a player and we decide whether that player fits within what we're trying to accomplish as a player first, then get to know that player. Does he fit in this culture? Does he fit into the things that we're trying to accomplish as a program? To me, it all starts with you. It all starts with what is it that you're trying to find. And to me, that level, regardless of whoever else is doing whatever else, that has to start internally. This is who we want. This is the standard. This is the type of players we want. This is what fits our culture. This is the development that we're going to do with our players, and these are the guys that we feel are going to fit that best. It's certainly competitive. It was competitive at Boise State. It was competitive at Arkansas State and other programs I've been a part of because I felt like we put that on ourselves to make sure we bring in the best people and best players. And, one of the things is, as we evaluate, we watch them, our eyes, all right? We have conversations, our ears. I mean, it becomes about, all right, what is it that we need in our program? And we've got to be the judge of that. We have to be the ones as coaches that need to know what's best for what we're trying to accomplish. And every guy that we evaluate, we're always thinking that. And, there's a lot of good players out there that it is competitive as far as, wanting to bring in those best players. But at the end of the day, those players have got to be a part of what we're trying to accomplish. They got to want to be in a program like this, and they got to want to develop and work very hard to do that. And that's the reality of it. And their families have got to feel that same way. So to me, it comes down to that. And I think we have something here at Auburn University that is different. And I think this program is one that when players and families and folks get a chance to be here and be around the culture, the people, the vibe, and get a chance to see what I saw when I came here for the first time. To me, that's really what it comes down to, and I think that's the most important thing for us is focus on Auburn, focus on the type of people we want in our program, and make sure that we bring in the very best.
Jordan Hill.
Hey, Brian, Jordan Hill with Opelika Auburn News. What stood out to you the most from your staff as far as what you saw from them as they put the class together to where it is now?
I think the communication. I think there was great communication. I think we did a good job of making sure not only we communicated with the players that we were recruiting, but also the family, but then internally as well. All right, where are we at? What are some of the things that we need to do to move this forward? And we had those conversations, and I think the staff did a good job of just staying connected and making sure that questions that were asked got answered, and that we got to really show, I believe, a vision for what it is that we want to do here, and make sure that guys can see that and how they fit into it, and how they're going to be a part of this program. And with the coaching change and not get a chance to get out there and get face to face, all right, a lot of conversations had to be had to give that vision, and a lot of connection points needed to be made to make sure that we had the information back and forth so we could make the right decision. And these players that signed, that chose to be a part of this program, could make the right decision. And I think that's exactly what happened. And it comes back to the relationship piece. All right, you build a relationship, you connect, and you feel like this is a great opportunity for Auburn University to have this player be a part of our family, and for this player to be a part of Auburn University. And he feels like he can come in here and accomplish the things he wants to accomplish academically and athletically. That's where the connection happens. And I think our staff just did a really good job of that. And to go back to that question before, having a couple head coaches on staff, well, there's a level of maturity there in recruiting where, all right, we're able to have those conversations and to be able to answer those and be able to have that real connection with these players and families and say, well, this is how things are done. This is how we're going to do things. Here's the expectation. I think the players appreciated that. And at the end of the day, they know they're in good hands. They know they're going to be in a very good program with high character men that are going to be coaching them and are going to be developed in our program. And so to me, as a family member and all that, that's all you can ask for. My son's going to be around good people. He's going to be in a great place. He's going to have a chance to accomplish his goals and dreams, and he's going to be developed. I mean, those are the things that at the end of the day, I think become the deciding factor. And, these guys know that. They're going to put in the work. They're going to do things right. And when they leave our program, all right, they're going to be better for it. And they're going to know and have a process of how to be successful and how it should be done the right way. And I believe that the players and the parents really appreciated that, hearing that from our coaches and hearing that from, what it is we're trying to build in our culture here.
Next is Brian Matthews.
Hi, Brian. This is Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com. I wanted to ask you what you feel like your role in as head coach is in recruiting, and has that role changed coming from Boise State to Auburn?
Well, I wouldn't say it's changed necessarily. I've always felt like recruiting is the most important thing we can do because, again, it goes back to the type of people we're bringing in. Now, we're recruiting ability in all phases. It's not just players, it's coaches, it's every member of our program. So for me, I feel like that's my responsibility is as far as talent or evaluation of people that fit what it is we're doing, that's something that I have to constantly do. And I take a lot of pride in that, and I think for the head coach, that is the most important thing, all right, are the people and the people that you bring in. And then developing those people. It's not just about bringing in the best people. You also have to have a plan to develop staff, players, people that are a part of our program, all right, the vision that we have for what we want to accomplish. And those two things right there, when you can get that done and do it on a consistent basis, as a leader, not just of a football program, but in my opinion, of an organization, then you have a chance. Then you have a chance to create that culture that you want. You have a chance to develop yourself and the people around you the way that you see fit to accomplish the goals you set for yourself. And so that's how I've always seen my role as a head coach, is to make sure that position on staff, that the head coach position is doing those things. And then, being a part of our players and coaches' lives, so the connection piece is a big factor. And I think that connection piece helps us get further along and helps us with what it is we're trying to accomplish, because as we communicate, we're able to eliminate maybe a lot of the doubt or indecision and get right onto what it is we need to do and the focus we need to have in order for us to have the type of success repeatedly and consistently that we want to have day in and day out. And that's got to be something that the head coach and certainly what I feel in my position has to do on a day-to-day basis. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that part. I enjoy the development piece. I enjoy the culture piece. I enjoy the standards of what we set for ourselves and making sure we uphold those standards every day. And that's the fun part, because when that does happen and you have a day where people got better and they saw that they got better and the program got better and it's all happening on that one particular day, there's a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and that usually bleeds over into the next day and opportunities for that to happen again. And when you can get a little momentum that way, then you got a chance. And so that consistency piece from certainly myself is important, that we're doing those things daily.
Got time for two more. First one's from Mark Murphy.
Yeah, Coach, how important is it for you in evaluating a player to get them on campus for summer camps or go to spring practice and watch them, or actually go out Friday nights and see them in person?
Yeah, huge. I think the in-person evaluation, you can't substitute that. You can watch film and you can see guys that can play. You get a chance, and there's a lot of ways now too that you can see much better than you used to. All right, an evaluation and see these guys do a lot of different things. But I still feel like just being out there, you're at a high school game, you're watching it, you get to be a part of that. In high school football, there's nothing like it. But you get to feel that, and you get to be a part of it, and you get to evaluate. You get to see, guys that practice or do different things. I think that in-person evaluation is huge, and so opportunities to do that. Right now, we haven't had a chance to, but I think those are extremely important for anybody. When you're evaluating talent, and you don't get an opportunity to do that with every single guy, but as a head coach, but your coaches do, and so. Getting their eyes on them and seeing it and seeing certain things, because that's what you do as a coach. You get on the field and you work with your guys. You get to see the drills and how they respond to it. You get to see them go through the different techniques that you're teaching. You get to see the body language. You get to see how they respond. And film is good. Film doesn't give you all those things. All right, in person gives you a chance to see that. And when we get a chance to get back out there, that's going to be something that, for the last several months we haven't had a chance to do. So I know everybody is looking forward to it. I know every coach wants that to happen. And, we know there's a reason why with COVID, but when we do get a chance to get back out, that's going to be, one of the most important things we can do is getting our eyes on guys and really seeing the little things that we need to see in order to make the right decisions.
Last one today, Coach, from Bill Cameron.
Coach, you mentioned 6 offense, 11 defensive players, and today you added 2 offensive and 4 defensive players. Was that by design, or was it just best fit, best players available at this time? And then going forward here, the rest of the recruiting period, what are the needs that you really feel? We mentioned running back a little while ago, but what other needs do you feel need to be addressed?
Sure. Well, it was a little of everything now. It's always best fit. Right, it's going to be best fit, and certainly the needs are a big part of that. But just because you have a need, you still have to find the right fit. All right, that's the most important thing. So, like I've said before, I mean, you're in a hurry, but you don't want to rush. You want to make sure you got the right people in your program, and I think we did that. So by design, but also getting the right fit in the players that we brought in. And then the needs moving forward, running back, O-line, DB, those are still areas where we've got to fill some of those needs if we find the right fit. And so that's why over time, as we continue to recruit, there'll be other opportunities for guys to evaluate, other opportunities for guys to where we can communicate with them and get to know them, and then that will continue on through this spring. But at the end of the day, we know where we have some areas of need, but we still got to find the right fit. And in that process, we're going to stick to that. Make sure we got the right guys, the right people to be a part of what we're doing. That won't change ever. And you know, we'll get the right numbers for what we need on. But more importantly, we'll have the right people in those positions. And when we do, then you know, we know we're going to be able to develop. We know these guys are going to fit into the culture. We know these guys are going to help us create the vision that we have for this program and go out there and compete and want to be a part of Auburn University.
All right, Coach. Thank you for your time today. Everyone, thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you, guys. War Eagle.